Roll it up, we gon' burn it down.
So this was a weird storm. They were calling for, initially, we were supposed to get 4 to 8 inches, or we could get pounded. They said it was going to be blizzard-like conditions. And I'm showing this one here because I never film this stuff when I'm out this way. This is usually the tail end of my route, and by the time I get out here, I just don't. I never remember to put the camera on, but I did tell you guys I have a bunch that are out along Lake Ontario, and there's a bit of a drive in between them. Not like the rest of probably 85-90% of my route where it's just one driveway after the next. So you go down the street and there's a ton, but this is just kind of showing you guys how far it is in between. Not real far, a mile or so in between these ones, but they are kind of spread out. But anyway, this storm they're calling for blizzard-like conditions, and even today, the rest of today, it's still blowing like crazy, heavy winds. They have a no tractor trailer restriction on our throughways, but I went out about 4 o'clock or so this morning, and it had come down really hard overnight. When I went to bed about 10 o'clock, it was just pouring rain. I thought they screwed up again. We weren't gonna end up getting any of this snow, but it's been in the 50s for the last few days. So of course plowing just became a pain in the ass, because if you went just a hair bit off someone's driveway, you sunk right down in, which I did in a number of places, which is no big deal. Just fix it in the spring, which that'll lead me to a whole nother topic as far as snow plowing. And I'll be putting up a video tomorrow for the second half of this plowing, because I had to break it all up, and I'll be discussing plow damage and what is and isn't the norm in my area and what I do. But anyway, so it did make things a lot harder. The ground was just way too soft, but with all that rain underneath, it froze overnight before it started snowing. When the temperatures finally went down, it just made it a pain, because as soon as you scrape the snow off the top, which when I went out at about 4 o'clock this morning, I was scraping probably 5 to 7 inches. It just depended on the area. As soon as you scrape it off, it's all ice underneath, so you're sliding everywhere, and it's like that wet mashed potato snow. For those of you guys that plow, you know what I'm talking about. It just pushes real heavy, and then it sticks to your blade. So when you pull up in front of a garage and you drop your blade, it drops that booger right off the blade, and there's a big pile there. You gotta go back up and get rid of it. Hopefully you weren't too close to the door so you can scoop it away. But I know there's a million things, and guys have a lot of suggestions for that. I've tried everything under the sun. I've put oil on there, I've put wax on there, and you guys have seen me use it in the past. I use a little bit of that Lucas wax, that slick mist, and it does work, but I didn't think it was going to be that type of snowfall, so of course I never sprayed the blade. But I bought that kit called Plow Slick. I've tried it all, and when you're plowing a lot and it's heavy wet stuff off the lakes here, like we get that lake effect, that heavy wet snow, it just really doesn't matter. You're going to deal with it. You just gotta do the best you can, and try to manage it as much as you can. But anyway, it just became a pain. So once I got done with the entire list, it kept snowing like crazy. It usually takes me, I've mentioned before, about 4 hours to get through my list, and I was pretty much spot on. Even though a lot of the roads were pretty good, the towns in my area did a really good job. it was still really slick underneath it. Even the roads that they had scraped down, it was really slick. We use salt real heavy here. I know some states use sand. I think that's totally ridiculous. I used to have to go into Erie, Pennsylvania every day, 6 days a week on an armored truck, and we couldn't wait to hit that New York state line where they actually use salt. I think sand is ridiculous. They say it's for traction. I think it sucks, but back to my point, even with them scraping down the roads and putting salt on, it was still really slippery everywhere. So it made it a pain to get around, but I still did it in pretty good time. And once I got done, because it had snowed so hard during that whole time, I didn't film any night plowing. I knew I was going to be going out a second run, so I didn't even turn the camera on until the second time through, which is this here, and it is also what will be in the next video. But I started filming on this second run through during the day here because it would snow so hard on my first run through that I knew I was going back out to touch everything up again. And when I did go back out for this second run, there was another 4 to 5 inches I was plowing on all these driveways. So that's how heavy it was coming down, and it just kept on coming. So I got about halfway through this second run, and the sun started peeking out in different areas. It definitely had stopped snowing, and I was super excited because it was supposed to snow all day today and then a little bit tonight into Friday. So I was happy to see that it was done. The bad part is the wind was picking up, so at my second time through, a lot of these driveways that I was coming up to had drifts. Some of them didn't have as much snow in certain areas back in them again, but it was heavy drifts. So this here, you're going to see the next 3 driveways, you're going to see me do something here. And this is frowned upon. It's actually illegal in my area. You're not supposed to push snow across the street at all. And I almost never do. I always find another way. But these 3 driveways here you're going to see me do in a row. Obviously you can tell I'm pushing the snow across the street. The reason why it is illegal, because idiots plow snow across the street, stack it on the other side, and then leave these big windrows in the middle of the road, and when cars go down they hit it and it throws a car all over the place and people can get killed. That's why it's illegal, as it should be. However, I only do it in very selected areas, and it was that last one there. I do not do it in this one, but I do it in the next one. And like I said, out of 52 driveways I plow, I think I have 4 that I actually push it across the street. The one you saw a little while ago, it's a cul-de-sac, a little turnaround. Everyone pushes it across the street there. It's just the easiest place, or there aren't many other places to put it. And then the couple that I do here, because same thing, customer doesn't want it in certain areas, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I make sure once I push it across and I have it scraped across, I clean up my windrows. I make sure I leave nothing in the rows. As a matter of fact, because I'm going across the driveway or across the road, and the way that I do it, I leave the road cleaner than what the town does when they come through with their trucks. I make sure I do not leave anything in the road. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. I cannot stand when guys do that. And unfortunately, there are a lot of guys in my area that do it. And when I say a lot, you'd probably be safe to say almost everybody does it. And they leave windrows everywhere. I can't stand it. I know Ryan can't stand it. He has a select few that he pushes across, and he cleans it up really well. At the same time, he's in the same boat as me. That stuff just drives us crazy, so we make sure that we clean it up and leave it the best we can. But I know somebody's going to comment on it, and I did have somebody comment on a snowplow video before, and so that's why I wanted to make sure I threw that in here. But stay tuned for tomorrow's video as well, guys. I'm going to cover this whole plow damage thing, damage to property, and as far as it's going to go with along the lines of rolling sod and sinking your tires in when it's really soft ground, like what I had to go through last night. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, make sure you hit that like button, share it if you want, and we'll see you in the next one.